Hi everybody. Welcome to Life After Mental Illness. I'm your recovery expert, Bill MacPhee, and recovery is when you wouldn't want to be anyone else other than who you are today. Now, in today's vlog is so very important. Very important today's vlog. I mentioned in the last vlog about sleeping, about with all of these positive symptoms going on when we're experiencing positive symptoms. How can we possibly sleep? How is it, really, how do we get to sleep? And I got to tell you that sleeping with a mental illness, and in general, sleeping is so important for both our mental and physical health. And we got to try to get sleeping. However, when you're dealing with a mental illness, sleep is very easily, thrown off. So what I want to do today is I want to give you some sleeping tips, how to get to sleep and work on these. So they're no particular order or no particular importance. They're just things that came to my mind that's very important. So we must become sleeping detectives. And what I mean by that is that we need to we need to investigate and find out what puts us to sleep or what really help us sleep. So, first of all, what we need to do is we need to really start journaling about this. So when we do have a good night's sleep or we do get proper sleep, we know why. We know what kept us asleep and how it did. So let's start. So in your journal, we're going to become sleeping detectives. So one of the tips that is very important is to have clean bed sheets. We sleep better when we have clean bed sheets, and whether it be wintertime or summertime, the thickness of the sheets, whether they have flannel sheets or silk sheets or cotton sheets or a heavy blanket. But anyways, the environment, very important to have clean sheets. It's very important, we sleep better, if we can get into a bed that's been made. Now I gotta tell you, my whole life I didn't have to make beds. I mean, when I was young, growing up, my mom made my bed for me. When in my married life, I had my wife made the bed for me. I did have a job at one time. Sorry about that, my list blew away. So when I was, used to be an orderly at one time, and we had to make beds, and I got to tell you, I couldn't make a bed if my life depended on it. Those hospital corners, they're tricky, and you know what, the old-time nurses, they'd throw a coin up in the air, and if it didn't bounce off the sheet, they had to make it over again. But anyways, making a bed isn't easy, but if you know how to do that, it will help our sleeping immensely if we can get into a bed that's been made. What's very important as well is a pillow. A comfortable pillow that we like, and this takes a lot of getting used to. So you might have to experiment. You might have to experiment with pillows. You might have to have a soft pillow, a hard pillow, a pillow that you snug onto, whatever. I know people who travel, and when they travel, they take their own pillow because they can sleep anywhere if they have their pillow. That's how important a pillow is. So that's very important, having your pillow and knowing your pillow that puts you to sleep the best. Very important to not take electronics to bed. I'm bad for this. I mean, I have my laptop sometimes in bed and my cell phone right next to me and things like that. But it's best if you can to keep the electronics out of bed. Very important to check with your pharmacist or your doctor and try to see if you can get a regime where you can take your meds a little bit before you go to bed. So if you sleep at go to bed at 10 o'clock, maybe see if you can take your meds at 8 o'clock or right before you go to bed or whatever. But check out with your pharmacist and your doctor about when to take your meds, because if your meds can help you sleep, you may be prescribed a medication to help you sleep. Now I want to say here, now I'm pretty sure that there are actually no medications that are actually help you sleep. Like what they are, there's no actual sleeping pill. What there are medications for different things that have the side effect of slowing you down or tranquilizing you or putting you to sleep. So there's no really real sleeping pill. The things that are prescribed to you are usually pills that have the side effect of putting you to sleep. But if they did come up with a sleeping pill that really was good and really worked, I'm telling you, you'd be set for life. It'd be the best drug. But I'm pretty sure that there's no just pill for sleeping. Sleeping pills are prescribed, but usually there are other drugs that have the side effect of putting you to sleep. Very important, temperature in the room. Sleeping, if you can find the temperature that works for you, that's an ultimate, that's a great temperature for you, very important. So for example, have a thermometer. Really, get a very accurate thermometer and keep it in the room with you, and in your journal when you do have a good night's sleep, recognize the temperature of the room. And that goes on to say, because you might want to open a window or close a window or have a breeze coming in your window, or maybe you have a ceiling fan and sometimes your ceiling fan is on, sometimes it's off, sometimes there's a variable speed to it. So, very important to your ceiling fan. So the window open, the temperature of the room, the ceiling fan if you have one, what speed it's going. I hate the ceiling fan when it's going fast and it's actually blowing air on you. I hate that. So I usually sleep with the ceiling fan off. Blinds and curtains, the lighting in the room, how dark is it? How dark. Some people love sleeping in the pitch dark. In fact, some people wear masks so that there covers no light in at all, so it's pitch dark even in the day. And I should say, you know what? Some people sleep better at night, and some people sleep better in the day. So I'm not saying that one is better than the other because we're all different, but it's very important to try to get a lengthy period of sleep. It's not good to be waking up every hour or wake up every hour and then you're up for 15 minutes and then you doze back. If you're sleeping at night or you're sleeping during the day, try to get a lengthy one-time stay of 6 hours, 7 hours, something like that. It's very important. Very important that. So the blinds and curtains, the darkness of the room, experiment with that, journal that when you have a good sleep. Say, you know what, it was really dark in the room and I slept pretty good last night, or the moon was shining in the window and it was so bright I couldn't sleep. You journal that and you play sleeping detective. Okay, what about here? The time you go to bed. Very important to try to get into some kind of a routine. If you're going to bed at 10 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock in the morning. When I was very, very ill, when I was first diagnosed, I used to go to bed at 6 o'clock at night and I wouldn't sleep. I'd just lay there and till 11 o'clock the next morning and get up. It was terrible. It truly is. It really plays havoc on your illness when you can't sleep and have a bad sleep and things like that. And this is another thing too as well. We shouldn't nap during the day or during the night when we're off our sleeping. We should try not to nap. Try to get ourselves so tired that we really sleep. So, and our bed, really, the bed should only be for sleeping and sex and that. And you know what, I'm going to say this, and you might laugh. You're surprised I'll say this, but you know what? What helps, a lot of times people find if they masturbate, they fall asleep quicker, or they fall asleep right after that too. It releases a lot of tension and that. So that's all I'll say about that. Oh yes, and then the last thing, second last thing that's very important to try to get sleep is that if we have some sound, maybe we're listening to a soundtrack, some music. Many times I'll have my cell phone, I'll go to YouTube and I'll play some music. I might fall asleep to some KT Oslin playlist, or maybe Meatloaf, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, and the different songs that they do. I might fall asleep there. Or I used to, sometimes I used to listen to S. Lewis Johnson. He was a theologian, and he's from Dallas, Texas, Chapel, and he used to have a program where he'd preach for an hour, and I used to put that on. I would fall asleep. So if you have like a tape of somebody, you might put my videos on for the playlist, and you can fall asleep. I'll put you to sleep every night. Just listen to my vlogs, and you'll fall asleep. That's kind of funny, eh? And then, you know, you might have different music or different people who are talking. Sometimes Brendan Bouchard is a motivational speaker, a high performance motivational speaker, and I might put him on at night or something and listen to that and fall asleep to somebody speaking. So, but the point is, the point is to experiment. Become a sleeping detective and journal and find out what the environment is like to get you a good night's sleep, and try to repeat it on a regular basis. And I'm just going to close with one more thing that I do, which is very, very, very helpful many times. So if I'm just laying there and I might not be able to sleep, I might just start talking to God, have a conversation with God, and just start expressing my thoughts and my feelings and my wishes, my wants, and how the day went and everything. And you'll find that you might be talking a little bit, and then you'll stop talking. And when you stop talking, you're like actually falling asleep. And you go, oh, I'm not talking anymore. You might talk a little while, start up again, and then you drift off, and you'll fall asleep that way. So anyways, hopefully these tips have helped you to maybe get a good sleeping, because I gotta tell you, sleeping is so important. Getting good night's sleep is so important. So go over these, write these tips down that I've told you, watch the video again and watch them down, list them, and become a sleep detective and try to get some good quality sleep. Because as I mentioned in the last video, with all of these positive symptoms that we deal with, hearing voices and being paranoid and hallucinations and delusions, it's amazing. It's amazing how we can't properly sleep. And hopefully these tips will help you out. So next, I think in my next vlog, we're going to go on, talk a little bit about how this mental illness affects you physically, and then I'm going to start getting into the negative symptoms and go one by one about negative and deficit symptoms and explain them one by one. So anyways, for now, have a great day. Remember, there is life after mental illness, and recovery is when you wouldn't want to be anyone else other than who you are today. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye for now. Hi. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And follow me on Facebook and Twitter.